Hey y'all, what's up? Today I'm going to film the last installment of the holster making video, and I'm going to give you a summary of what we did. I want to talk about the final few parts that you haven't seen that's on this holster, and just a couple little tips and tricks. And that's what we've got going today. So to get started, so here is the holster, all finished. I apologize for the lighting not being fantastic. I'm still trying a few different arrangements to figure out the best location to do some of these videos at, as I don't have a studio or anything by those means, as I'm sure you can imagine. But anyway, the holster is finished. It has been trimmed, it's been finished sanded, and you can really see, actually in this light, you can see all the definition on here from the forming from this is the Glock 19 again with the Viridian flashlight laser combo on this. Double check, we're clear. So I'm sure you saw in the previous videos I had this all taped up and blocked off to make room so that the holster would have the right amount of retention and so that it could be drawn out with the right amount of force. And we'll just put this in here. So, a couple things I want to go over. When you are making a holster with a flashlight, like I said before, you're going to have to block off all these rises on the light to create a clear pathway for those pieces to be drawn out of the holster. If you do not do that, it is going to lock in there with so much retention you're literally not going to be able to pull the gun out. I promise you. And you would think that this stuff would flex enough and it would expand a little bit when you're trying to pull it out. It doesn't. And so you really want to work on the retention for that. So the problem you may run into when you're doing a flashlight, and I've done Viridians, I've done N-Force lights, I've done Surefires. The problem that you're going to run into is it's a fine line between retention keeping the gun in and it being loose enough and having enough room to draw it out with the correct amount of force. This one is pretty loose, but it's not going to fall out by any means. And it seems looser right now. Once we put on the belt, and when you're wearing the belt, the Kydex is put under a little bit of retention, and for what the use of this is going to be, it's pretty much the perfect amount of retention. So, and like I've said over and over again, it's going to be trial and error to get it the way that you want. You may have to use a heat gun a little bit to heat certain places and just experiment with it. It's just plastic, and thankfully it's not expensive. If you ruin a piece, it is frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. So that is what we have as far as the retention and the form for the holster. Set this up out of the way. The thing that I haven't showed you yet is these attachment buckles. Now this is going to be on a Molly mount battle belt, and again, this is not mine. This is for a friend. So that's the belt, and these are the clips. These clips, or buckles, whatever you want to call them, I got from DIYholster.com. I'll put a link in the description at the bottom. These are actually made by Blade Tech, and this is the first set of Molly mounts that I have ever purchased or used on any kind of design, and I tell you, so far I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm trying to think of something for myself that I would need these for. So they're pretty cool. They got spring-loaded latches down here to open. There's different holes to raise and lower the holster on your belt or vest or whatever you want to hook it up to. They're pretty sturdy, and like I said, so far I'm extremely impressed, and I really like them. So I'm going to go ahead and thread these on here just for video's sake. And it's not real elegant the way that I've been doing it. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but it works. We're just going to thread the top ones through and kind of manhandle them in there. And for all you guys that don't know what molly is, or mole, I guess, tomato, it's just a webbing system to mount gear on belts and vests and stuff. I'm sure you can Google it and you'll be able to figure it out. Actually, I'm going to move this up one, because that last one is not a full loop. I did not use any special jig or guide or anything to figure out the spacing for the molly webbing. I did one side of the front side of the holster, the buckle, because I knew where I wanted that, and then I just kind of laid it out and eyeballed it. Used a little scribe on the back to where I mount the back one, and it's pretty much exactly where I would have mounted it anyway. There's a little bit of play or travel in the webbing for the distances apart, and then those are in, clip them in, and there you have it. So really cool system. I like the buckles, I like the setup, really like this camo pattern on here on the Kydex, and I think my buddy's going to be really pleased with this setup. So one more thing that I did want to mention, I didn't go over in the tooling part because I don't use it until I get to the very end, and obviously I'm not sponsored by anybody or anything, but I picked up this tool at a local hardware store. It's made by Black & Decker, and it is just a cordless driver that you can change the bit. It's magnetic 1/4-inch drive bits. It's got a button on the back that is, it's like a gyroscope, and you press it in with your palm, and whichever way you rotate the tool is the direction that it turns. And when you are fitting these holsters, putting these screws in, putting them in, taking them out, putting them in, taking them out, marking holes for drilling and fitting and things like that, this thing is awesome. It's quick. It does just the right amount of torque to tighten them down. And yeah, it was just one of those things that I picked up that made my life a lot easier doing this. It does have quite a bit of torque, actually. A single drive, a drywall screw into a piece of wood without any trouble. So it's got a little LED light on it, and they're not too expensive. Again, one of the little tips and tricks that I've come across that might make your lives a little bit easier as well. So that wraps up the holster build. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments box below. I do my best to answer all of them, and if you have a better way of doing it, please feel free to let me know. I'm always looking for ways to make my life a little bit easier when I'm making these holsters. So the next series of videos that you're going to see on here is going to be more gun related. Next weekend I'm going to a little impromptu pistol match in a local gun club with some friends. We're going to try and take some amateur GoPro video of that and just try to film that. It's always fun to go to. I'm not a fantastic shot or competitor by any stretch of the imagination, but I like to get out and practice and shoot my guns, and it's a really good opportunity to do it, and you'll see the setup when we go out there. I'm going to show you a couple of the small gun builds that I've done. I'm going to go over my carry pistol. I'll probably go over the AR that I built, and things like that. I've got some car videos that may or may not interest some of you. I'm going to go over my daily rigs that I own, more to post on the message boards that I belong to for those vehicles, but some of you guys might enjoy that too. If you're just a normal family guy like me who doesn't have a ton of money and needs a vehicle that kind of does everything, suit your purposes, might be interesting to you. So I've got the shirts are going to be coming in this week, and I'll show you those. Those are going to go out for delivery. I actually have a one-off prototype, if you will, for lack of a better term, hat coming in. That's going to be for me, the first one. I've got some vinyl graphics coming in to go on my car, and probably a bunch of other stuff that you guys don't really care about, but I'm going to put it on film anyway. So again, comments below are appreciated. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, head on over to our Facebook page and follow there. Yes, you do have to request to join. There is only one admin on that page. It is me. All the notifications go to my phone, and I'll get you approved ASAP. And check out our Twitter feed. Also, I put a lot of stuff on there that I do here. I don't do Instagram or anything, so most of the pictures I take will end up on Twitter and some on Facebook and a lot of other industry related things there. So appreciate you guys' support, and appreciate all the follows, and as always appreciate any comments or recommendations. So have a great one. Thanks.